Well, I think it's not only a common problem and issue with Central and Eastern European films, but basically with all films from smaller markets that are not English speaking, they're not big Hollywood production or have those big American, Italian or French stars attached. We seldom see also films from Latin America or Asia in the classical distribution. I think it can be improved by actually really more support, so there's more physical money given for distribution for non-European titles of that country in other countries, but also I think it's time to think about new ideas and new ways how to get back the audience. We shouldn't also forget that we are about to lose a whole generation of cinema audience, as in many countries they don't go to the cinema anymore, they just watch everything on VOD or internet, legal downloads of course, and if we don't start to educate the young generation, then we're going to lose them forever. If you don't go as a child to a cinema, why should you go as an adult? Well, I'm very happy about those changes. I was a big conference in Warsaw in December, and I also met Javier Trussard, Sumi, who works there, and also Irina Orsic, been in touch with them. And I really like the new attitude now that, let's say, our small countries are really part of the normal Creative Europe / media support, and that they want also to pay special attention, let's say, to smaller territories. So let's say if it used to be very France, UK driven, now actually if you apply as a Lithuanian, as a Slovak producer, entrepreneur, for whatever program, you get actually more points because it will be more taken into consideration that you come from a small market. I hope it will also increase, let's say, co-production, cross-border activities, so really more communication and workflow with and between the Central Eastern European film players. Well, we all know this hype about festival films here in Berlin. You know, every screening is packed. We can't show what we would consider maybe serious art house, 3.5 hours, black and white, no music. At the screening room would be filled. People would fight for tickets. The same movie comes a month later into the distribution, and it has really problems to fill the screenings. So I think that the future will be a really strong cross-border relationships between festival and what we called classical distribution, and of course all the new coming VOD models, because festival have a brand, they have a label, right? I mean, we are here in Berlin, 64 years of hard work, we have like 8,000 entries, 400 films, so people trust us that we really do a good selection for them, and this is, I think, really something that works very good for the audience. And of course I think also that our responsibility as a festival and as festival makers, as festival curators, will grow to keep films available not only for the 10 days of the festival, but longer, especially for films which not find the classical distribution. It will be our job to keep them alive, and some of my colleagues are doing this already with great initiatives. Well, I just want to quote last year's success stories. Out of the 16 movies in competition, 5 were from Central Eastern Europe. Out of the 8 bears, we had 4 bears, including the golden bear, went to Central Eastern Europe, and also the teddy went to Poland. This year, you are right, unfortunately there's no film in the main competition, but there are 2 great films in Panorama, and there are actually 8 titles in Forum. There are titles in Generation, short film. So this year it happened. There was not so much to suggest, there was not so much for my colleagues to see, but also there's no geopolitical quota. There's really no need to program a film. As we see this year's programs, China is very strong, Latin America is very strong, so somehow the country's production was also at the right time and more ready to be in the festival. I'm very happy to present something here I've been working for quite a long time for, SOFA, School of Film Agents. So it's an initiative we started with our dear friends from the Polish Film Institute and the city of Wrocław, which will be cultural capital of Europe in 2016. The main goal is to educate, train, network with and promote so-called film agents. Under film agents we basically understand cultural managers who work in the cultural managers who work in the field of film, basically everybody who is not a classical producer or director, but somebody who wants to build up such a great initiatives as Film New Europe's, who wants to build up a cinematheque, an art house cinema, maybe a specialized festival, a film archive, anything that is there to promote cinema, to archive cinema. My firm belief is that many of the problems we see in the CEE countries are connected to the lack of infrastructures, are connected to the lack of high-level trained young professionals, because under communism the system was differently, and if we look at France or Germany we know how many professionals there are, so we try to bring the two worlds together and really develop great ideas needed to get people back to the cinema and watch our movies.